Hello, everybody. Good morning, America. Give me a third arm. That's how much I love my country. Are we doing this because of the 4th of July or because we love our country?
No, because, I
Too late. Yeah. Hi, Zach. Oh no. We gotta call Twitch. Apparently, we're showing Taco Bell ads with Paris Hilton, but we've signed an exclusivity agreement with Perez Hilton. So,
and Arby's.
and Arby's.
Pretty sure she has the meat.
Wait, who's the she? Doesn't matter. It still works. It still works. Anyways, a little bit of a different stream setup today because we're going to be doing some Legos. We're going to be building some knockoff Legos that I bought from China recently. We're going to have some background music though, so let's kick off some background music.
I love fucking background music.
So I know the stream can hear it. I believe you should be hearing it too. Actually, I probably gotta turn my gate off. Gate off. Gate off. That sounds like a slur, but it's just me.
Movie.
Just me pronouncing gate off.
Hey, let's do a new bit where
weird.
we say things we think sound like slurs. I'll start.
What was that? It was when we were playing the Bloodborne game, and I said a Pokemon name wrong, and it sounded like a slur, and I don't even know what it was.
Oh, you said yes. You said
I'm not even gonna try and say it.
Zigzagoon's name wrong, and you said a Vietnam era slur by accident.
Oh, that's right, I did. All right, here we go. I'm not monitoring stream, by the way, so can you do me a favor and check it? So here's my address.
Perfect.
Apologies, it's zoomed in because the camera's literally right here. It's gonna be great for building, but it's not great for showing
Sharpie doesn't
the
work
box.
for censoring things, Ian.
It does. The FTC told me I could.
Just don't scan it.
So anyways, this little box has got a bunch of stuff in it. Let's just start taking stuff out one by one. Hi, Zach. Did you watch the race this morning? Oh my god. Shelby dissing me? We need to start a beef? Alright, so here's the first thing. This is 3558 or 35518.
3558.
I believe this is the Mark II Viper. Colonial Mark II Viper. I'm just guessing that based on the colors.
I built a Colonial Mark II model years ago.
Actually, there may be multiple things in here. Because I only have one other box here. Oh no, sorry. I believe this is the ATTE. You can probably start with that. Okay, and then juggling a box here. This is the Mazda RX-7.
Ooh.
I also got a little present. Look at that. Little keychain thing. Hang that behind me somewhere.
That's cute.
All right. Oh, hey, real quick. Do you like my little, I put these new floating shelves up here. Like them? You can't tell, but there's 5 of them.
They're very nice.
I gotta rearrange because I have a bunch of gunpla at the top. I think I want to put the gunpla down on the bottom. But at least I get to show off that
Death Star turret?
Yeah, it was a little Bandai kit.
Nailed it.
Okay. Let's start with the ATTE. So here's the story behind this, which is getting into Legos again lately. Turns out Legos are stupid expensive. They've always been a little expensive. Now they're stupid expensive. And I'd always kind of wanted to buy some knockoff kits from China. And so I'm just pulling some stuff up. And I did some research and people were saying that knockoff kits are fantastic now. Some of the manufacturers are great and they have really cool designs. So this is a GOBRICKS. This is one of the brands that people heavily recommended. GOBRICKS, all capital, one word. 42164 MOC Micro Republic gunship. Let's put this sucker together. Let's see these parts. Got some packaging ASMR going on. Where's the fucking opening?
Hot packaging ASMR.
I don't know
Tell
if
me
this
about
comes
your
with...
packaging.
It's great. Barely works. I don't even know if this comes with instructions, so I may have to pull them up on the screen, but that's just a little Technic guide. Instruction service card. Oh, you log in URL, enter the code to get PDF instructions. Let me pull that up real quick. Ooh. Sorry, my keyboard's like all the way off to the side.
Oh, I had chat up. Let me bring it back up.
Setbricks.com.
Fans are rabid.
Please enter the verification code. I'm only allowed one ID search.
Don't fuck it up then.
Enter the A. Oh no, wait, that's the CAPTCHA. Okay, A. Okay, alright, I think. Sorry. It's a translated website. You can't see, it's a translated website, and the instructions on the card. Okay, cool. We got it. Honestly, it just looks like Lego instructions. Alright, so if you've got chat up, I can just leave this on the top monitor for me. So anyways, let's cut this open and let's see how the part quality is. Talking.
What is this song?
I don't know. I did the ye old Google like free stream music or whatever, and a lot of them are just behind Spotify now, and I'm like, I don't like Spotify, and I don't want to have Spotify ads going off in the middle of my fucking stream, you know?
You should join my family group.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this real quick. The bag is very high quality. The bag is thicker than Lego bags. That's surprising. And then, I know focus isn't great on this camera because it's meant for like 18 to 20 inches, but...
So it never gets regular use?
No. I've 2 or 3 and I'm done. That's all I got.
Is that a little boat? Oh no, it's a toenail. Right.
It's one of those little, you know, like the scallop pieces. Sorry, I'm
I
gonna
always
try
remember them from dragon. They're like dragon nails.
do a close visual inspection real quick. Okay. There is one thing that tells me these are not Legos. You ready?
There's no Lego logo.
There's no Lego logo. Other than that, I can't tell. These are very good. Like, the only mold lines or mold remnants is the same shit you would see on Lego pieces.
It's funny too, like I would feel, and it's just because of the brand, but I would feel so more precious with actual Legos than building with these.
Yeah. Because to be clear, this kit cost me $7. Oh. Let's take a look at these pieces. Again, same exact thing. I can't tell these are not Legos, except they don't have the Lego logo on them. Crazy. So, just to be clear, this did not come in a box. It didn't come with instructions. It had a card saying, go get this PDF for instructions. So that is one of the downsides. Let's boot it up. All right, here we go. First click. Ready for the first click?
Do it.
I'm gonna do it on mic so you guys can hear it.
It's pretty good, satisfying.
It wasn't satisfying, but in the way that the fit is so good that there is no play. There's no satisfying click. It just goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is good. There was zero fucking problems with that one. All right, so let's see. Ooh, that looks like an illegal technique, though. Is that an illegal Lego technique? Do you see that? So it's just the through hole here, like the technique through hole. It's gotta be. It works though.
I can't imagine it's not.
I'm gonna do something real quick so I can multitask go. And how do I fucking... There we go. So how's your weekend going, little boy?
It's pretty good. Not too busy. I varnished the decks of my endurance model.
Oh, I thought I was going to say your outdoor deck, and I was like, you don't own that shit. Why are they making you work on it?
So I did that, and then I have to install them on the ship, and then I'm doing my first modification to the kit, which is they just have you paint like the walls white.
Oh.
But in the actual endurance, it was the walls were planked as well. So I'm cutting half planks and gonna plank it and then paint it white.
I kind of want to do a ship kit because I like the idea of doing a model out of tiny wood and you have to do like wood techniques on it. You know?
Yeah, that was kind of the surprising thing when I made that tugboat. Mm-hmm. They were just like, hey, here's all the wood, here's the hull. You just carve the hull out. And I was like, excuse me? Like, excuse me? I have to do that?
Excuse me?
This one's nice too. I haven't decided so they have different planking techniques. They do a planking technique where you lay the planks all straight without having to like fully bend them. Mm-hmm. And then you fill in the gaps with cuts of wood. Versus actual planking technique of a boat where you like steam it and can like bend the wood around. So I haven't decided which one I'm gonna do yet. But no, I've been working on I've been animating a lot lately. So I've been working on animations and I've been using the Surface Adobe Fresco. Oh,
instead of what's the other one everybody uses? ProDraw or something.
Yeah, and it's fantastic to draw on, and so I've been making some videos for a media share, and there's one tonight, but I found out about it on Friday, so I'm
media share. Who's sharing?
The streamer Webby I watch does a media share where people submit videos, so I just make funny little animations. It's fun.
It's me. It's going together pretty well. I mean, the only problem I've had so far is that sometimes it feels like the fit is a tiny bit too tight, like a 1/10 of a millimeter too tight, but it's fine so far. I know I believe this is a legal gray area. I believe this build design is stolen from the community. As in somebody was selling this design for like $5 and this company just took the PDF and is now manufacturing to it and is not licensing it properly, I believe.
That's a bad thing you're saying?
Well, because I can tell it's not quite as good as a Lego design in terms of how it's fitting going together. Well, I don't want to say fitting, but in terms of how the pieces flow and are structured. Because this whole front thing right now is just off that wonky one stud right there.
It's rare for Lego to have a one way of connecting a thing.
Yeah. It'll be like that for a couple steps and then they'll solidify it later. So maybe that's what'll happen here, but oh, I didn't tell you my nephew cracked open his piggy bank and bought the Lego Land Rover.
What? Oh,
yeah.
Jealous.
It's pretty cool. He was showing it to me yesterday after he finished building it. It's just the price is a bit much, but so
he got the non-technic one, right?
It's the one that just came out. So yeah, non-Technic. Yeah. I think it's like what, 240, 250.
That's wild.
Pretty honking though. It's probably like 12 inches long. It has a lot of cool accessories. It comes with a spare engine that just goes on the roof rack, which is funny.
What?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Like true off-road. Yeah, we gotta bring a spare engine. So, but you know, honestly, my recommendation is I wanted to get the. Yeah, okay, so see, this is a perfect example. Let me see if I can demonstrate this. Okay, so I have this here to here, and what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to take this 1x3 and put it here, and then bridge the gap here. But that's not leaving enough support underneath.
That's not.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Especially since it's going into the. But that is not a problem with this company providing this set. It is with the design, which is from the community.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, so I really want to get the. I don't know if you've seen the Lego Space Shuttle Discovery they have, which is like 24 inches long. And it's a big kit, and it comes with, I think it's Hubble Space Telescope in the shuttle bay, so you can pull that out and display that as well. And I was tempted to buy it because it's $200. It's like 2,400 pieces. I was tempted to buy it at the Lego store a couple weeks ago, and then I was like, I don't know. Then Maggie guilted me a little bit. I should have just not listened to her, but I was like, okay, I won't get it. But then they announced it's going to be discontinued at the end of this year. And then as soon as they announce that, it becomes harder to find everywhere. Like even the Lego store that it was in stock at doesn't have it anymore. And I was like, I gotta stop fucking doing this to myself. I can afford it. If I see a set and I really, really want it, I need to just buy it and not wait until the last minute and be screwed. So then I was looking around today and I found it on StockX, which is a website originally made for sneakers, for people to buy like sneakers. But the whole thing about StockX is I believe they maintain the inventory. Oh, no, wait, sorry. No, I didn't buy it on StockX. I bought it on eBay. So slightly shorter story. Somebody had it on eBay brand new, but the box was crushed. And I was like, I don't give a fuck about the box. So I paid $165, including taxes and shipping for it, instead of $200 before taxes.
Nice.
So honestly, the third-party Lego market is not that bad. So maybe you could get the Land Rover for a little cheaper.
Yeah, I should check. I really want the Titanic. I just don't have room for it.
Have you seen it in person?
No.
It's at the Lego store. It's pretty cool. It is big though, but it's cool.
Yeah. Also, Ochre ship model company, they made the Endurance and Terror. They did just release the Erebus, which I was like, oh, I want that. But they also released a the Erebus is the sister ship of the Terror. They went together.
Oh.
But they released a Titanic, and it looks legit cool. I'm like, it's like $500 though. I'm like, I want that, but I also want I want both now to like put that one next to the Lego one.
This is going together really well. Like I think the only difference in the feel is that when I'm putting studs into the bottom of another brick, it's tight. Not in a bad way, but like in a way that it feels tighter even than Legos. So it almost feels like it's not going to fit, but it goes in and it fits. It's just a tighter tolerance than Lego, which is not what I was expecting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so this is, just to catch people up, this is GOBRICKS is what we're building right now. GOBRICKS, one word, all capital. Pretty damn good.
GOBRICKS. Speaking of getting things for cheap, there's a book with all of Frank Hurley's photographs from the expedition for the boat. And I was like, oh, because Getty has them all, but of course, I can't
Getty's an asshole.
Get a good quality of them. So I was like, oh, I'll just get this book. And on Amazon, it's $74. And I was like, excuse me. So on eBay, I found it for $10. So
nice.
It's on its way.
So it's funny you mentioned that. I've been doing that with my Moskva build, which is the Russian missile cruiser that got sunk by Ukraine last year. And there are two grainy photos of the ship as it was sinking. And so I've been looking at those photos as I'm getting closer to weathering and I'm putting the stuff together. I was looking at those photos and like there was one where in one of them I could tell like the cargo doors in the back are painted white and they were left open as the ship was sinking. And so on my kit, I had to cut the doors in half so it becomes two separate doors and prop it open and paint them white. So it's been fun doing like the actual photograph details.
Yeah, and there's like with the Endurance, there's a model ship forum where people have build logs, and I've been following it for a couple of years now, ever since I got into ships. And I was finally like, oh, I get to post now, and like all these like guys that I've read their posts are like commenting on it. I'm like, oh my goodness, like it's Keith, and of course nobody knows who Keith is, but they have like modification stuff, and basically like boils down to there's the Endurance. Before it was the Endurance, it was the Polaris. So there's people who build that one. There's the Endurance when it left England. There's the Endurance when it was built, refitted in South America. And then there's the Endurance in Antarctica with photos of it there. So like you have to compare all these photos because they made the ship look nice when they left England, but then they fixed it to be livable when they got to South America. And a bunch of other stuff. So there's like hatches. There's like a new like gangway, not gangway, but like descent, like going down into the boat. It's a hatch, but it's like built up with stairs that they added and all this other stuff. So it's fun, but it's nice like to have a model kit where you're like, you got to train your brain to like, you don't have to do the directions in an order. You can just kind of like wing it, you know, and do whatever you want.
That's tight, but I feel like it's always like that. It's putting basically one of these through a Technic stud. But I think those are usually tight. But it's good. It didn't fall apart. I will say the instructions I'm following, again, I don't know if this is from the company or if they stole it from somebody else, but they're pretty good. They look like Lego instructions, like very clean, easy to read, etc. They're just colors are a little bit off, so it's sometimes hard to tell.
I'm sure it's just the screenshot from that like program everyone uses.
You're right. It's probably the export from that program, because I think that kit, I think it does export to whatever
images.
Oh, see, this is a perfect example. I don't know. It's fat. I think it's fat.
I have always had that issue with Lego is sometimes clear blocks look like gray.
Yeah.
And I've messed up on that before.
That looks cool.
Menu.
Sorry, it's just literally right after I talk about the instructions, I'm noticing that the 3D version of this piece in the instruction image does not show all the ridges. So it's hard to tell what exactly they are expecting you to do. But I think I can figure it out because there's only one way it will go together. Okay, that's cool. I think this is the wing plus engine. This is great so far, though. I think today I'm gonna watch Anna Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh, I just watched Raiders of the Lost Ark this morning.
I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark a week ago with Maggie. She'd never seen it. We watched it. Typical Ian take. That movie's okay. I don't think it's as fantastic as everybody says it is.
Wow, I don't even have words for you. That movie is incredible.
It hits this point where it's just like action scene into action scene into action scene, and I'm just like, Okay, we just drop the
blocking
story
alone
completely.
in that movie is incredible.
The
filmmaking in that movie is incredible.
It depends.
There's a good
there's the
YouTuber
one
is.
fight scene with Marion, and she's in the background hitting people with like a metal box, and she is barely landing the blow. She's just like touching them with it. And it's like, okay, these fight scenes are a bit old. They don't come across that great.
There's a good YouTube breakdown. I forget who did it. It was part like Raise of the Lost Ark works in black and white.
Yeah.
Well because the DP shot black and white movies before.
Yeah.
Like, when he was younger.
I think the cinematography is great. I just mean some of the action set pieces are a bit outdated in the action moments, and then there's so much of them in the back half that I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay, that's a bit much.
Temple of Doom's good too. I just watched so I've been working on Indiana Jones like crazy at work.
Why?
Because the Dial of Destiny came out, so we were putting out
Hey.
a bunch of Indiana Jones videos, and I know those movies so well, so it was actually I did all the B-roll layout for a huge YouTube video because I just knew where all the scenes were. But I've been doing that so much, I was like, I just need to sit down and watch them now. And then the Red Letter Media just did a review of Temple of Doom that I watched.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is great. Let me just watch through all of Indiana Jones again. I gotta go see Dial of Destiny. I heard it's pretty good. Pretty okay. Enjoyable, at least.
I can't tell. Everybody keeps saying different things, you know?
Yeah. Tom from work said it was enjoyable, so I know his opinions on things, and I can at least get some sense from it.
I'm kind of in a weird spot where I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan. I think 1, 2, and 3, granted, I haven't seen them since like 2008. I think 1, 2, and 3 are pretty much the same quality. And I think 4 is a smidge worse than the original 3, you know? So it's just like, I'm excited to rewatch. I'm excited to rewatch them because I don't know if that take is still accurate or not. But for me, I was just like, okay, I see why people like these, but it's not like one of them is amazingly better or worse than the others. So I'm curious to see if that holds up or not.
Oh yeah, the original 3 are pretty on par with each other.
Yeah. I don't understand the Temple of Doom hate because I remember it just being enjoyable and basically the same as the rest of them.
Yeah. The Red Letter Media review made a good point with 4, and a bit with 3 is they turned Indiana Jones into a character rather than Action Man, and that's when it like started to not be as great. And it wasn't as apparent in 3
You said with 3 and 4.
Well, it wasn't as apparent in 3. Like, they did a little bit in 3 with that. Yeah. Because they had, like, his backstory with his dad and all that. But it was still a great movie. And then 4 was just like, Indiana Jones is a character now. And it's not... Like, they shouldn't have made 4 be Harrison Ford again in the 50s. They should have just had someone else be Indiana Jones on an adventure. Like, don't tie it always back to him all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about Temple of Doom. He's finishing an adventure, wrong place, wrong time, starts another adventure. Like, yeah, it's fun. But I was in Raiders of the Lost Ark, the truck scene. I was googling Mercedes truck models because I was like, I want to build that scene out.
Yeah, I was looking at the plane. That's a cool.
The plane's pretty sweet. But the truck, I was like, oh, what if I modeled it where, like, Indy's on the front hanging off and, like, have the German in the driver's seat and have that fancy car with all the other guys in front of it.
I was trying to remember that plane. Is that a real plane or is it just a conglomerate of the Nazi?
I don't think it's a real plane.
Because I have seen the National Air and Space Museum Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center, near Dulles, which is it's the best plane museum I've ever been in. It's probably the best in the world because they have so much stuff there. They have a couple different German Delta Wings there, like partials. And I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I don't know if it was based off anything, or I don't know if it was based in reality or if it was just a conglomerate of conflagration. Is that the word?
Conflagration. I think the thing about Indiana Jones though that surprises me, and having rewatched it again, is that I think the direction is great, right? I think just my problem is that, again, only applies to the first one because that's the only one I've rewatched so far. I think the action's a bit old, and in some of the stuff it's a bit old. But I think it overall makes up for itself, so it's okay. It's an action movie. It's weird. It keeps trying to be like an intellectual thriller in a way, but it just keeps going to the action, and when the action starts, it just does not stop in a way where I'm like, no, give me more of the history stuff. You know what I mean? That crazy?
Yeah. I think the problem is that's just not what Indiana Jones is, and that's not what the influences for Indiana Jones were. So like, it doesn't.
That's fair.
It has some of that.
The influence part is fair, because for me, I was going to disagree with you on, they keep trying to present it as that, but when you bring out that as the influence, then it's like, okay, so it's really just it's got dashes of intellectual on top of a pulp influence, so that explains why it's so heavily pulp.
Yeah, it's very pulp. It's funny, I just last week I cut a visual references from a couple movies, like Lawrence of Arabia, Secret of the Incas, which is Charlton Heston in the 50s in the exact same costume.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then that has a couple things, and then the title sequence from Yojimbo? How is that pronounced?
I think it's
Akira
Yojimbo.
Kurosawa film. Is it Yojimbo?
Yojimbo.
Was about to say it. Yeah, I bet it's pronounced differently. But like stuff from that. Indiana Jones. I think I like Indiana Jones more than I like Star Wars. Like, that's how much I watch. I watched Indiana Jones so much as a kid.
That's a good question.
I mean, obviously they're different, but
I do think the Indiana Jones movies are original 3 are objectively better than the original 3 Star Wars movies. Just in terms of like cinematography, action, story, how that's developed, etc.
Yeah.
Because I rewatched Return of the Jedi a couple years ago. Fucking hate that movie. I don't know if you remember how much of a whiny little bitch Luke becomes in that movie. Like, literally the entire fucking movie, he's like, but Daddy, you love me, don't you, Daddy? Daddy. Good side, Daddy. And it's just like, that's his whole fucking character. The entire movie, and it's just like, okay, this is fucking awful.
Stop trying to save your loved one.
But it's the way that he's doing it. He's literally just like, it's okay, Daddy. You can say you hate me. I know you don't hate me. You don't hate me. And it's like, he's not trying to persuade him in any way other than just being like, I'm right, Daddy. It's okay, Daddy. You'll get here, Daddy.
Stop saying Daddy.
That's what it felt like watching that fucking movie every time Luke's on screen. But I do prefer the sci-fi to the Indiana Jones. So I think that's the only reason that makes me disagree with you. Indiana Jones versus Star Wars is personal preference towards the aesthetic setting.
Yeah, I think that's the most of it. Is like, I love that like 1930s serial, and all that stuff. It's so good.
So help me out here. One was directed by Steven. Which ones were directed by Steven Spielberg? And then did George Lucas direct any of them?
No, George Lucas was just the
screenwriter.
Screenwriter and like creator. Like George Lucas created Indiana Jones.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I knew that.
I think Spielberg directed all 3 and 4. He didn't direct 5. I know that much. Yeah, he directed the original 3.
Okay, I have my first major complaint. I believe it's with the design and not with the company. Maybe a little bit with the company. No, it looks okay. I mean, it's like a microscope. It's these wings, okay? They're basically pivoting off of these two barrel connectors on the gray piece, right? And what happens is, you can see it down here. You're supposed to put it on and then flex it down a little bit so that it touches the studs, but it's not actually connecting. The problem is, it's just one piece here that's connecting to the wing, and there's not enough give on the gray piece isn't the fit on the gray piece is too tight, so you have to put a lot of pressure to bring it down. But when you do, it disconnects these two pieces, which is the only structural part there. So that was an absolute pain getting these on without it coming apart and getting them down to the right angle. And you can see there's still some issues, but
yeah, I can see that.
See, because now they're not the
But
same.
also, those wings don't seem low enough.
That's the thing is, I can't bring them lower because of that. I think you're totally
I know.
right.
Yeah.
And so,
like a
oh yeah,
design issue.
perfect example. So I want to bring it down, right? I bring it down. This piece has to come down, but it's the fit's too tight on it, so it's a pain. See if I can.
Yeah, Legos never just fall apart like that. They usually break apart.
It's not a fall apart. This is too tight. So I have to apply a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And that's pushing the Legos. So what I really need to do is let's take this off and smidge it. There we go. That's probably as good as it's gonna get. It is a cool little design in terms of how it looks on the micro scale, but anyways, yeah, so I'm excited to... Oh, you know what I did do, though, was I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark on Disney+. How did you watch it?
I was just watching it on Disney Plus as well.
What did you think of the Disney Plus version?
Good. I don't know. Was there something wrong with it? I put it on and I was drawing, so I wasn't looking at it the whole time.
Were you watching? It depends on your app and the device, etc. Were you watching the 4K Dolby Vision version?
Yeah, I assume it would be, since it was on my OLED.
Give me 2 seconds. I gotta go get a Lego brick separator.
Wow. I'm not entertaining these people. It's not happening. I'm looking for Halo 3 orchestral music.
Look at this.
That's what I'm looking for.
It's a teal one that I got with the NES set. I've never seen them in that color before. Anyways, I just need it to... I got two 1x1s and I need to flatten them against each other so they're square. A little better. Okay. No, so the problem I had was we started watching it, and Indiana Jones has a lot of film noise on it, a lot of film grain, which is fine. Love it, right? But that in 4K plus streaming compression from Disney Plus fucking murdered that movie. It was wild. Like you would be watching it, and if there was any sort of like, especially for depth of field stuff where it's more grain than it is detail, you would just see the grain and the compression blocks fighting each other. So it was like grain compression, grain compression, grain compression, and it just made 90% of the frame look hideous. And I was on the TCL on the Roku app for Disney Plus, and I switched to the Xbox One, and it made it just barely better and more tolerable. So long story short, I have acquired the other Indiana Jones movies in 4K Blu-ray, etc.
That's weird, because I thought you might say that, and I was watching it and admiring how detailed the grain was, because
yeah, see, that's and I'm not saying you're wrong, but like there should not be a reason why the Xbox Disney Plus app was different from the Roku.
Yeah,
because they're both 4K Dolby Vision, but yeah, it was just something weird going on there where I was like, it was literally like every frame was fighting between the film grain and the compression blocks. Like the compression didn't know how to deal with the film grain.
I do have some. I forget what filters I have on the TV on the LG because what
I could help.
that TV stock I will put on Andor, and it was like, I think it was trying to remove too much grain, and it was just made it so grainy, Andor, and I was like, what is happening on this TV? So I went and like changed cinematic settings. So there might be a little, I think there's a compression reducer for noise. So that could be helping as well. But yeah, the other problem is just as they up-res those films, the grain just becomes more and more noticeable.
Gotcha.
Which is a thing like
and I'm fine with that.
Got rid of.
And I'm fine with that. I like more film grain, etc. It's cool. It's just when
it's neat
when it's not uniform because the compression is beating the shit out of it. So yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah, I can see that definitely being an issue. Because I've dumped a lot of like shitty rips I have because their bitrate has just destroyed the noise and compression, stuff like that.
Yeah. Where are you going? Okay, that looks good. I'm getting down to the end here.
Oh, I was gonna save it for local chat, but I can talk about it here. Watched Moonfall last night.
That's the one I'm thinking of, right? That's the Roland Emmerich.
Roland Emmerich, yeah.
What'd you think?
It has to be. It's been a long time since I have watched a genuinely bad movie.
And that was genuinely bad.
Like there's a lot of movies, I don't mean this in a mean way, but like Running Man, Commando, RoboCop.
Endearing bad. Yeah.
They're endearing bad because, I mean, they didn't have huge budgets. They didn't have all this stuff. They're endearing bad because of, it's not because of the creative vision or the editing. It's just because whatever. And there's also like The Room is bad, but fun to watch, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
This movie.
God, that movie was
It
so
was
bad.
Just like.
It wasn't even
scene. And none of the scenes together were ever related. It was just, and it was, I understand, this was an individually financed film, and I understand why, because there were so many advertisements, and people who I assume bought their way into this movie to have a scene.
What?
Because there were just nonsense scenes with characters who shouldn't have been there.
Can I ask a question? This is going to sound racist, but I swear to you it's not. This movie had Chinese people in it, right? Chinese actors?
Yes.
Yeah,
it had
that's Chinese money.
I think one... No. Tencent was one of the financiers, which is what I was going to
say. No, that's the thing, is that it's Chinese money plus Chinese market, where you basically... requirement for getting the money and, like, getting enough showings in China is that you have to have Chinese actors. And that's one of the things is they get shoehorned into stuff.
As far as I can tell, there's one Chinese actor, and she was a foreign exchange student.
Yes.
And a love interest for one of the characters.
Yes, that's right.
And so I wrote notes on my favorite things in the entire movie, because there were parts that were... I literally, if I wanted to, I think I could sit down and edit this to be a better movie.
I could see without any reshoots.
Yeah, you could cut... And that's why I'm saying there were so many scenes that were unnecessary that just don't need... There were subplots that were unnecessary that don't need to be there. And again, I think they were there because of the like stipulations and all that sort of stuff.
And also just runtime, where they're just like, oh, we have a character, now we need to get to this action sequence, etc.
Right. And there were things that happened that just got... There were setups that felt weird just to resolve them later in the movie, where I was like... You didn't have to have this later in the movie, so why even have the setup for it?
Yeah.
Like the son was arrested on TV, and the dad, Patrick Wilson, who's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
I love him. He gets up in the courtroom and argues with the judge. The judge says the bail hearings moved to Monday, and he's putting the kid on the no-fly list. or flight
Oh my God, I
risk
forgot about
list.
that. Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, they're like, oh, we all have to get to Colorado because Colorado's high up. That's where we'll survive. But the kid can't fly because he's not on a no-fly list. And I was just like, the world's ending. Who cares if he's on a no-fly list?
That's
like,
a good
what are you
point.
talking about?
I genuinely forgot about
None
that.
of this matters.
Because there was so much bad shit happening in that movie that I think I just completely glossed over that.
So some of my favorite things, the destruction of New York City, every building fell except for the Freedom Tower, which is exactly how it should be.
Never forget.
Also is funny too, because the architect, I don't know who it was, but they basically built the Freedom Tower to survive more plane hits. There's literally, they were like,
true?
There's a giant like steel column with elevators and concrete in the center of the Freedom Tower, built specifically as like a middle finger to more. Yeah, I know, right? No, I forget who said that. It was like the architect or something. They're like, yeah, this could withstand another couple plane hits. I was just like, excuse me?
I just love that. Like, you're designing a building to replace buildings that got hit by planes in the largest terrorist attack in history, right? And then you're like, I mean, we don't really need to worry about that, right? Because it already happened once. And then you're like, yeah, but if it does happen again, we can't. we have to. Like, we have to design for that. Not because we think it's going to happen, but because if it does happen again, we're going to look like idiots.
Idiots. Oh yeah, Karen's in the chat saying that was the main thing. The visual effects were incredible.
Yeah, visual effects great. Yeah.
Fantastic. Better than a Marvel movie. I also wrote the first half of the movie didn't need to be there. They could have started the movie. What is this song that is playing?
This is the Zelda song that we had to skip last time. I don't know, I'm gonna skip it.
The movie could have started with them launching off to the moon. Or like a little bit of setup to that.
It's not that I disagree with you, it's that the movie needs a lot more than just that. You know what I mean? Like you say that, yeah, and I'm like, but then I still have to watch the rest of the movie. You know? I mean?
1,000%. But like the first stage is to be like, why did you have any of this in the beginning? None of this needed to be.
It's like, we got to set the characters up, and it's like, okay, but what if we just didn't have those characters?
At one point, like 4 trees fall on the kid, and he's still alive somehow. The no-fly list. Oh, the Elon Musk scenes where they just like shout out Elon Musk, who must have given money or something, or if not, it was the weirdest fanboy thing ever.
Yeah.
The general says, great line, my ex-wife has never let me down before. I'm sorry, she has. She divorced you.
Oh
That's
God.
a bit of a letdown, my man.
I'm sorry. She divorced you.
Artificial intelligence was funny. The backstory to the moon thing was kind of cool. It's like an arc.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. That was kind of neat. Also, if the moon, at one point, they used the moon to take the shuttle off because they lost an engine. Ooh, it's done?
Right? It's done.
That's pretty good.
I'll say this. Only one complaint with the pieces, which is I think some of these like rod pieces fits wherever these were fitting. It was a bit too tight, and that led to some building difficulty. I'm not crazy about the design. I know they didn't do the design though. So overall, like, oh yeah, this is cool. It's fucking Legos, baby. I totally buy that. Yeah, so keep going. Let me go ahead and set up the second kit, which is gonna be the Mold King.
The backstory to like the moon and stuff. But anyways, the moon comes around. They use the moon's gravity since it's so close to the Earth to lift the space shuttle off.
That was cool.
To get into orbit.
That was cool.
And then they immediately dock with the space station, which would not be there anymore because the moon would have pulled it out of orbit.
I think that's fine though. It's Marvel movie logic.
No,
I'm okay with that.
It's fine. It's just hilarious. And then like
can I just say real quick? I'm not upset about that. I am upset about movies like Gravity, where they're trying to be realistic survival situation and they just completely fucking get orbital physics wrong.
This was just funny because the moon passed and then they were just in space and it was normal space because the moon's not near them anymore.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what? And then the last thing I wrote, there's a lot more, but the last thing I wrote here was they get onto the space station and they go, Brian, because they're looking for Patrick Wilson. And then Sam Tarley goes, Brian Harper. And then what's her face? Halle Berry goes, how many other Brians do you think are up here? Like, ha ha ha, why use his last name? Literal joke from The Lost World. The exact same joke from The Lost World. Vince Vaughn yells, or one of them yells, Sarah Harding. And then the other guy goes, how many Sarahs do you think are out here? Which is a fantastic joke. Literally stolen from The Lost World. Anyways, Moonfall.
Just real quick, this presentation's very good. This box. This is
like
Mold
the all
King.
Black.
Mold King is supposed to be the #1 non-Lego, and it comes with a plastic presentation box.
I was looking at those for the Seinfeld kit.
Guess how much this was? I mean, I know you kind of already know, but you probably don't remember.
Like $30.
$15.20.
I might. Oh. I gotta see if there's more. You sent me those.
Yeah, shout out to YWOBB, which stands for yourworldofbuildingbricks.com. They're where I got these. They're reputable. And then shout out to privacy.com as well, which is basically an application or a website where for free you can create temporary credit cards. So for example, this order was about $50, so I created a one-time use credit card through privacy.com for $50. I charged that to this. That credit card no longer works. If somebody stole it off of that website or wherever else, then it's not usable. So between those two things, I felt pretty safe in buying this stuff.
Did they have Initial D on that website?
I think this is Initial D, if that makes sense. Oh, you mean like the set? They may have.
Yeah, like the Trueno.
Oh no, they do. They do. Because this is Initial D. They don't say it, but through their presentation and the models they're picking, this is an Initial D set. You know what I mean? This is an RX-7. They do have a Trueno. It's right here.
Oh yeah, the A86.
You see it right there?
Oh, hot.
So they have 4 different models. That's the display case that it came with.
Oh, they got the. I found it on the website. They have the tofu in the back too.
Yeah,
that's great.
This is about 24 days of shipping. Damn, this is a cool little
Warning:
case,
cannot
though.
eat.
Well, suggestion. Hi, Baron.
Hi, Baron.
Oh, thanks. I got this at the Belgian Grand Prix. It was a cool hat.
Oh, that is a cool hat. Nerd.
Yo, check out this display case, though. So this is the base. And you can probably attach it there. But it has these on the bottom because the top of it has the studs in the corner. So you can probably very easily stack these right on top of each other.
Oh.
Yeah, you can. So if you had a bunch of these, you could just literally stack them on top of each other. I may buy all of these. $15 for each of them? Hell yeah. I'll catch you up, Baron. This is what we built just now. This is with GOBRICKS, and it felt great. Only one minor complaint about the piece quality, which is these gray pieces were a little bit tight. That was it. Everything else felt great.
Oh my God, Ian.
What?
They have a Return to the Future car.
Oh. So that's the thing, is that website has a lot of stuff, but you kind of want to look for Mold King or GOBRICKS, because those are the 2 brands that are like super good. Yo, this is a full instruction book. Tiny, but
damn.
Let's get started on this, and then when I get tired, we'll get tired.
Daddy gets tired when he gets tired.
I think this does have numbered bags too, which is nice. The other kit didn't have that.
Yeah, there's a GOBRICKS DeLorean. Oh, there's a Jurassic Park tour vehicle too. That's pretty neat. Oh, there's two of them. There's a staff Jeep as well. For $12?
Yeah, now that I know this is good quality stuff. They have the Silva, the AE86. This is the RX-7. Let me see if they have in here the specification. You want actually maybe you look it up, Will.
What do you want me to look up?
What are the other ones in the Mold King set? Yeah, so I think that's Supra. That's the RX-7. That's the A86. Maybe that's a GTR. I don't know.
Mold Kings.
Yeah, this is called Mold King. MOULD.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find their website. So they have some. Do you know what series this is?
Mold King model car.
Well, it might be
maybe.
This. It put it in the Technic series, but it's not a Technic.
I can give you the model number 27015 if you look that up.
Oh yeah, so here's the 27. So 27013 is the AE86, which is $30. It looks like.
It's not bad.
Which is pretty
Wait,
sweet.
through Mold King? Because your world of building
Yeah.
bricks. How much is the RX-7 through Mold King?
Let me check. The AE 86 on that other website you mentioned was by a different company.
Oh.
Cada or something like that. Yeah, they do not organize this website well. This has got some dope trains though.
Yeah, they do have a bunch of train models. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't look at these pieces. Because this is technically a different company than GOBRICKS. So this is Mold King. They look pretty good. Again, the only way I can tell they're not Lego is because they don't have the Lego on them. The quality's very good. Even like the plastic injection imperfections, like that dot, you see that shit on Lego all the time.
Oh yeah.
So these pretty much nearly indistinguishable from Lego is what I would say.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Even the Mold King website, they half the price.
Yeah.
You know, would I do it? Probably.
Shoot. Okay. One complaint here is the bags do have numbers on them, but as far as I could tell, they did not tell me like only this bag or open. Okay, it says here. It says open 1, and then you open 5, and then you open 5. Don't know what that means. Because I've already hit
I think it's saying you open 1, then 2, 3, 4, and then end on 5.
Yeah, but here's the problem. This is bag 1, and now I need a red piece. And there's no red pieces in bag 1.
Are you sure you need a red piece? Maybe it's brown. Is there a
Well,
brown?
even if it's brown, this is just black and gray in bag 1.
Well, yeah, but use your imagination.
If I
Get
just
the paints out.
close my eyes.
Yeah. But is there one of those pieces of one of the other? Yeah, there is. Totally, for sure.
No, there is, but
I know. Listen, I can't
it's
see
3.
your entire desk.
no, I'm showing you the good stuff. I'm showing you what's relevant.
No, I know.
I think this camera setup's pretty good. How do you feel about this camera setup?
No, I'm not against the camera setup. I just mean
That's
I'm
not what
not
I'm saying.
physically there.
I'm
so I can
segueing
see.
into a genuine discussion.
I'm saying
This is
that
a new-
if you could
new
have made a
camera
better
setup. New camera
then
setup.
It would have been great.
How do you feel about it? You feel like it's working?
I mean, if you could look better, I just think.
There. I had to mess around with the lights a lot because I need the lighting here,
So ugly.
lighting here, but no shadows. But I think it works pretty well. Oh yeah, Baron found the construction set, which is all the Lego Technic stuff. Like, they have some crazy good stuff in there. Okay. Right, I'm just in a bit of a kerfuffle where I need to open more pieces.
Hey, it's me, Jeremy Kerfuffle.
Hey.
Did I tell you I got a great... My Twitter ads are slowly dwindling now that Twitter has become the worst place in the world.
Yeah.
But I did get a Stop the Biden Crime Family promoted tweet. That was pretty great.
Man, that's funny. That's like a complete 180, because you remember when... Trying not to get political here, but you remember in 2020... the late stage of the election, and that story came out about Hunter Biden and like all the shit on his laptop and the dealings with like questionable jobs with foreign companies, and Twitter was like,
Yeah.
we're gonna ban the New York Post Twitter account for posting this article. And it was like a completely fucking genuine article. They just decided to ban it because they did not like the political discourse. It was like, that's fucked. And now we're the other way. Now we're the other way, where Twitter, the company, is just completely fine with like chaos conspiracy theories, but now they're right wing, you know?
I just want to
Anyways.
know what's on his and Osama's laptops.
Animal Crossing. And was it Naruto?
No, I was
Was it Evangelion?
Yeah, it was, I forget what it was.
Keep forgetting this is not Lego because it just goes together so fucking good.
So fucking good, man.
I gotta buy one of these for my nephew and get him
Gundams,
off the...
Transformers, Hulkbuster. Yeah,
Oh, the Gundam is the next one I want to buy.
I saw those.
thank
When I
you for
searched
reminding
RX, it came up with the RX 78.
78-2.
Oh, that I finished that MG.
Oh, you like
Came out
MGs?
pretty well. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to put together. Also, I have perfected my clipping technique now. Like I'll clip them wide off the sprue, and then I'll do it horizontal close when I'm trimming them, and I barely ever need the X-Acto knife now. Like I would, if I wanted nothing to be there,
Yeah.
I would do that, but I don't build Gundam kits to make them look incredible. I build them because they're
is
easy
that?
and fun to build.
Yeah.
Those magnets? Or
No,
weights?
it's the back windshield.
Oh,
Back window. Rear window.
I wonder if they get those somewhere from somewhere else.
Maybe they don't want them to get
They package it
scratched.
like that. Typewriter set. Oh.
Oh yeah. Typewriter set, the Lego one's cool. It's just I already have a typewriter, so I'm like a Lego one. You know what I mean? Because then I would just put them next to each other.
Yeah.
I feel like I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, so my cutting technique, I've basically completely abandoned sanding. I don't want to sand. That's like one of the things where I'm like, I know it will make it look better, but I hate doing that and it's ruining my fun. So I basically just I have like some decent Tamiya cutters that I do to cut from the sprue and cut the chunk of it off, and then I use God hand to get down to like a maybe a millimeter chunk, and then I use the X-Acto knife, and I do it's kind of like a pyramid technique where you're not cutting straight across, you're cutting at like a 45-degree upward angle, and then you flip it around, you cut it at a 45, and then you like go flat across for just the point.
Yeah.
And that seems to work pretty well.
I bought a nice pair of Tamiyas, so I'll cut it off the sprue wide with that, and then I'll perpendicular cut it as close to the piece as possible because they're usually on edges.
Yeah.
And then I'll trim it with that, and most of the time there's not even a mark left.
See, for me, I couldn't do that because even with the God hands, it was maybe 10-20% of the time it would leave a little white stress mark, or it would cut in too much and it would leave a little bit of a divot.
Yeah.
And so for me,
I'll get the divots, but
the
the white stress marks are gone. They don't even come, I rarely get those now. Because I realize like I'm cutting perpendicular to the previous stress point, so it like doesn't
it's
double
fine
stack. Nice.
Okay, big complaint with this. The fucking point of having numbered bags if we're not gonna use them in numbered order. That sucks. I now have 3 bags open here. I bet on big kits this could get insane pretty quickly.
I'm afraid not.
No. Yeah.
I started working on double Zeta high grade.
Oh.
It's basically like the way to describe it is there's the RX-78-2, which is the original. Then there's the Mark II, and then those are in the original series. And then there's Zeta, which is this from the sequel series. And then there's the double Zeta, which is the main one from the 3rd series. So with this, I will finally have built, I think all 4 of them. All 4 of like the main character Gundams from the original series.
Damn. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to, I part of me wanted to start the Trueno, but I don't want to do it yet. And then I still have that RX-78, the G40 version. That's like the different they like built a Gundam in a completely different way. Like different methods. And I still have that I thought about starting the not Sputnik. Is it Sputnik?
Soyuz.
And then, but I was like, I kind of want to build a boat, so I'm on the Endurance.
I didn't finish the Moskva yet, but I kind of took a pause. I'm a little scared of the weathering. I've been trying some stuff out, but I'm worried about ruining it and then having to like go backwards and redo paint job.
Yeah, that was the main reason I'm staying away from plastic models for a while. Is I don't want to build anything big enough I need an airbrush for until I get one. So like the Waterloo figures are fine because I can hand paint those and stuff like that. And even the ship, obviously it was hand painted in real life, so it doesn't really matter. And it's wood.
Fucked up a little bit. I wish this booklet was bigger. It's small. That makes it hard to see some of these details.
You finish your Amazon list for model building tools for the Tamiya car models, and yeah, it's expensive. I don't know if you watch them, Baron. I stumbled upon them, but is it Junji? not Junji Ito. Junji's Garage or something on YouTube, and he's the one I was telling you about. Ian does like the wet sanding to polish it. He also polishes off or sands and polishes off like mold lines. Like, dude's crazy.
Yeah, that's too much.
Like, I guess if there was one car and I'm like, I want to make this the best,
yeah,
I would do that. But at that point, I might just fabricate everything out of metal anyways.
There's a couple guys that I follow on TikTok that they go to that level of detail, but they also, some of their kits they will sell. Like, they're doing it because somebody wanted it, and they factor up all their hours and supplies and stuff, and they're like, it's like $1,200, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's fair, but I'm not putting that much detail into something that I'm having fun with, you know? Check it out.
Let me find the channel bear.
Stick shift going in.
They're very comforting videos to watch. They're very like ASMR.
Stick shift.
It's June's mini garage. I was putting June and mini together. JUN apostrophe S mini garage. Yeah. Videos are really good. There's another guy I watch. Just makes me want to move to Asia or Japan and use all those Japanese modeling stores, because all the stuff they just have there that these guys have,
their tools are so much better. That's why one of the reasons why I love going to Gunpla stores is not just for the models, but because they have like God hands and like the nice sanding sponges and all that stuff, and all the Tamiya stuff. Just a lot better. Whoops. I did just find
I am subscribed to this guy.
Mr. Weathering Solvent 100. I don't know if you've heard of that before. I came across it when I was trying to figure out the best way to handle the Tamiya weathering inks, and you know those little, like, they come in the bottles that are like the same size as the Tamiya glue, like the fast set glue, but they're basically washes. They're almost like inks, and they're great for like washing stuff on and doing panel lining and all that. But to get the stuff off, I've typically just been doing an eraser, which is fine. But then I looked it up, and this solvent stuff is like, it won't damage the paint, it won't damage the plastic. It's almost a little bit too weak, but you just like dip a Q-tip in it and you rub it on the wash, and it'll slowly bring the wash off. So it's like perfect for, like, you use the Tamiya stuff to just wash the piece, and then you come back later with the solvent and slowly bring the wash off. It's like a great cleanup, but it's not going to damage the paint or clear coat or anything like that.
That's wild.
One of those things where everybody's like, oh, just use this, and you finally get it and use it, and it works really well.
Yeah, if we ever do a Japan trip, we can go to some of these modeling stores. Who's this Japanese? Can't think of this guy. Luke Towen's pretty good, but he's not the man I'm looking for.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go to Culver's for lunch. You ever had Culver's?
I don't think so.
Very good. It's basically a burger place, but they just do really good burgers, and they have cheese curds because they're technically from Wisconsin. Really good.
Ziggy's desk. I will put it in the back of my mind, or I'll save a video. Baron. Oh, those are pretty cool. This guy builds a bunch of ugly, disgusting F1 cars, though. That's the problem.
How fucking dare you? I'm just having trouble. They really need to make this instruction booklet bigger. F1 cars the models are kind of cool because there's so much exposed detail, like the suspension and the exhaust and all this stuff, that if you really get into it, you can build some crazy detail on it. Like one of the guys I follow on TikTok, he was doing a model, and he was buying, like, he was doing like the brake parts inside the wheel, and the original model came with like one piece of plastic, and it was like the wheel hub and the brakes, and it was just like a generic brake disc. And he was like, no, that's not good enough. So then he bought an upgrade kit, and the upgrade kit had like individual brake components, and they were pressed. The mold made it look like they were carbon fiber with the holes drilled through them and everything. So then he could like add that detail and individually paint all of that. And because it's an F1 car, it's all visible. It's not going to be hidden under a fender or something.
Oh, that was the other thing I was trying to look up is I want to add some 3D printed stuff to the Endurance. Because there's like, they come with these really crappy stanchions for the like railings. And so there's like nice versions of them that I can order from some modeling shops. But again, most of the modeling shops for ship models are in the UK. Like that's where ship modeling's huge.
Yeah.
And so like there's not like, I can get 20 of the ones I want for £5, but then that's not even factoring shipping or anything. So I was like, oh, what? They're pretty easy. What if I just 3D modeled them and just 3D printed a bunch of them? So I have to somehow teach myself some 3D modeling.
I would recommend Fusion 360. That's the free one. Be powerful, and YouTube. It's basically how I learned. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I did Udemy. You have Udemy access now, don't you?
Yeah, I free Udemy, so I think
Yeah.
I have a couple Udemy classes saved, and I keep like meaning to jump on them. Because there's like a networking one I saved for like basic IT and networking. And I was like, oh, that'd be fun to do. But now I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do Fusion 360.
What is Baron screaming about?
Oh, because I called them ugly, the cars.
Oh yeah,
They're hideous.
good call, Baron. You know what? I will say. So I have. There's how I watch Formula One is through F1 TV, which is like their streaming app. And they have historical races on there. So the other day I was a little like just completely fucking exhausted. And I went on that app and I was like, what do you got? And I watched the first 30 minutes of the 1981 Caesar's Palace Grand Prix. Which, Will, I need you to look this up because I think you're going to find it funny. Basically, it was the very first Las Vegas Grand Prix. I say first because they're coming back with it this year. And they literally just took a giant parking lot in Las Vegas and like put concrete barriers up and called it a race course. And it's fucking terrible.
What was the year?
1981. I think if you just look up like Caesar's Palace Grand Prix, you'll see pictures of it. You see it?
I'm watching the race.
Oh, the race isn't good, but if you just look up at like an aerial picture of the track, it's literally just a parking lot in the middle of the desert with concrete barriers. It's ugly.
Yeah, these
Those
wide
cars.
shots during the race.
So the reason why I brought it up is I didn't realize that era of cars is incredibly fucking ugly. You seeing those cars?
Yeah, these are gross.
They're like blocky.
They're like front loaded.
Yeah, they're front loaded. Like the driver's feet are like a foot from the front bumper.
Yeah, that's just like if
They're
you
way
run
too
in
far
collision, you're
forward.
just gonna lose your legs.
There was a collision in the race like 10 minutes in. Somebody hit the wall and they cut to a shot of them, and it was just them sitting in the car, but their feet were sticking out the front because the front of the car was gone.
Oh.
And the driver literally just stood up out of the car and like walked through the front of the car because it wasn't there anymore, and he was limping because his ankle had slammed into the wall.
Yeah. Oh, I literally just cut to it in this race.
Isn't that crazy? It's just the front of the car's gone, his feet are sticking out.
You know what? So I don't think F1 cars are super ugly or anything. I just don't. I'm not attracted to them in any sort of.
You don't get
like,
boners.
wanting to build up. Yeah, I don't get
medical?
boners.
Or
Yeah, it's medical. I have a button that I push now. No, I like 1930s and 40s, like those race cars.
Yeah.
The ones where if you flipped over, you would rip your entire torso off.
yeah, I
Like
need a little bit more
that
danger.
style car
Yeah.
are wild, but I just they're too. I don't know if they're too. It's like the same with supercars. I'm not into. Like
Yeah.
the sleekness, the
That's
aerodynamics.
fair.
Like, give me a box Volvo. I'd rather build. You know,
I
like
totally
harsh
agree
angles.
with you. I don't think they look amazing. I don't think they look ugly. I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Cityscape Studio. Sorry, Cityscape Studio is the miniatures guy I watch. He is incredible. I've learned a bunch of techniques from him watching his videos. He does a lot of cool stuff.
One of the things that always blows me away, and having seen F1 cars in person and like stood next to a couple at displays and stuff, is the biggest problem nowadays is that F1 cars are way too fucking big. Like they are, I think they're like a foot shorter than like a modern F-150. They are way longer and way wider than you would think. And it makes driving on a lot of these tracks, especially old tracks like Monaco, like just a real fucking boring race because you literally can't pass anybody because of the size of the car.
They seem tiny.
The old ones are, but modern, they're just enormous now. They're way too wide and way too long. It's crazy. Song rips.
Oh, did you watch Tintin yet?
Yeah, I saw that in theaters. That was solid.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, if you want a fourth good Indiana Jones movie, Tintin.
You know, I think I like Tintin more than all of the Indiana Jones movies, but
Tintin
I'm rewatching.
Fucking rips.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It makes me want another Tintin movie, but Asterix and Obelix instead of Tintin.
Oh yeah. There's a Tintin game coming out that is modeled pretty much after that. I mean, not modeled after but seems similar style.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that.
Damn, you know what?
Play that.
Next time my niece and nephew spend the night, we're gonna watch fucking Tintin. I'm your uncle.
So
I don't
good.
care what you want to watch. Sit on the couch. I'm gonna make you popcorn, and you're gonna watch fucking Tintin. Okay? That's how it goes in my house. It's great.
Pretty sure fucking Tintin's a different movie. Do you think there's Tintin Rule 34?
I made them watch, I think a year ago, I made them watch Fantastic Mr. Fox, and they were like, eh. And I was like, too bad.
Yeah.
And we watched it, and they loved it, and I loved it, and Mackie loved it. I was like,
Tintin's one of those, Fantastic Mr. Fox is good for kids and adults. Like, it's visually
Yeah.
good. Sorry, I'm looking up Tintin Rule 34 quick.
Okay.
Holy moly.
Oh, yeah. What, did you think there wouldn't be?
Damn. No, I just wasn't.
I was
What is
hoping.
that trying to show me?
Oh my god. Are you actually?
I'm literally looking at it right now. It's a lot of Tintin and Captain what's his face. Also, okay.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm sending you this image. I'm so sorry.
Oh no. I'll take a look. Just one sec. I gotta find the right piece.
No, I haven't sent it yet. Don't worry. Oh my
Fucking-
god.
Oh, this kit's
Holy
great.
crap.
Just a real quick update. Look, I'm building the rear wheel arches. I got an exhaust tip here. This kit's fucking solid. Pieces are great. Design's great. I'm loving this. God bless Mold King. Okay, all right. I am now opening Discord. Discord is open. I am now looking at the image. It's like a perpetual motion machine.
I know. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Oh fuck. It's so good.
You know, I'm not into this, but as far as porn images go, that's a pretty good one.
Oh no. I would trade places with either. Doesn't Tintin look like Hank Hill?
You have to message this to Baron on Discord. He wants to see.
Oh, Baron.
Anybody who wants to see this image, join our community Discord and let us know, and we will private message it to you. Send it to him, and I want your reaction, Baron.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get banned from Facebook or from Discord for sending pornographic images.
No, I think
Have I ever messaged Baron before? No, I just meant I don't think I've ever messaged Baron before, but the first message to him will be with this image.
Oh my god.
Baron, I'm too busy. Send me a message on Discord so I can send it to you. Oh, fuck.
Oh,
That's really
God.
funny.
That's a good one, though. Solid.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I have messaged you before. Oh, yeah, we do have message history. Good.
Can't you just
Oh,
click
we're
on-
friends. Never mind.
Oh, my God.
What did I send? Oh, I sent you the handheld legend stuff. That's what I sent you. Here, enjoy this image. He looks like Bobby from
Yeah.
King of the Hill.
He's like a grown-up Tintin. That's what it looks like.
He better be.
Okay, that's fair. He's at least 18.
He's at least 18. Holy crap. That's the funniest thing I've ever
Hey,
seen.
you know what I was thinking, Will, is... I know you don't care about Formula 1. I do think it would make a good Pixel 8 episode, but it's not worth the money to make it a Pixel 8 episode. So we should just find either like a NASCAR rookie series or like a local race, like a local dirt race or something, and go to that. Because it's the same experience, the same insanity, but a lot cheaper. And
I would rather go to any car race over any sports game.
see, that's... But you've never been to a baseball game. Baseball game is great because it's really chill.
Baron with the correct reaction, fucking Christ.
No, that's a different Tintin image.
Oh, I'll look that one up.
I'll look that one up. Tintin.
I just want to know,
You really need to, though.
is he drinking alcohol? Must be
beer?
alcohol because he's a drunk. Oh. See, I'm okay with what's going on with the chest, but there's some on its face, and that part I'm not okay with.
That's not sanitary. I like the idea of people watching this stream and they have no idea. Like, they're trying to guess the specifics.
Also, Captain What's-His-Face is not into it at all. He's not even hard. Trust me, I would be. Oh,
Jesus.
God. What a nightmare.
Oh my goodness. Desos Misos. Baby daddy boy.
Okay.
You need some
I think
time?
I'm done with this. I have
Let
one
me,
more section of this video I need to draw.
Okay. I think we're going to wrap up
No.
at some point soon, but I'm not sure when. I don't think I'm ever going to hit a stopping point here necessarily. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Hey, check out my top technique. Okay, you ready? I have this piece here, and I need to take 2 one pieces and put them together and put it on it, right? But I just figured out if I just take this and I put it on here,
Oh,
like a nice
smart.
little holder while I put them on. Then I don't have to fiddle with it
Baron's-
so much.
Baron's saying maybe the alcohol keeping him from getting hard. You know, there's always an answer, and Baron.
There's always an answer, and Baron has it. Is that from experience, or... Okay, that goes there,
Used to say.
and there. No complaints with the Mold King pieces so far.
Yeah, it seems great. Honestly.
I do have complaints with my ability to read instructions, however.
I mean, everyone has complaints with your ability to do anything.
Okay, alright. Goes like that, and then like that, and then not.
I like this jazz music that's been playing.
Yeah. That's my jazz impression. Yeah.
You're really good at jazz.
Yeah. I think I'm working on the tail lights right now. Would be my guess.
Hey, babe, you want to come over and work on my tail lights?
Come work on my tail lights.
Baron's asking, how does the Mold King bricks compare to the last Lego bricks you built with?
So far, identical. Like, not even a joke. Literally, the only difference is that this doesn't say Lego on them. Oh shit, I got stickers in here? I don't remember seeing a sticker pack, but I also wasn't paying a lot of attention. I think it's just the license plate. Fuck. I don't know if I have the sticker pack. There it is. Okay, sticker time. MK27015. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're reading your activation codes?
Nope. Stickers look okay.
Oh, those do look nice.
Alright, let me put it on. I got this technique from Adam Savage. It seems to work pretty well. Basically pick the sticker up with an X-Acto blade.
X-Acto. Oh, you know what Karen and I did last night? Started watching Mythbusters from the beginning.
Ooh, I started to do that, but where are you getting it from? Because I tried to watch it on Discovery Plus and the quality was like dog shit. That was
It's
a while
on Max
ago.
now.
Quality better for the early seasons?
Yeah, it seemed fine. It seemed genuinely great for whatever year. Though it was weird though. They must be the aired versions because they were, at least the first episode, which is the pilot, was cut to 4:3, but clearly the edit wasn't 4:3 because people were framed weird.
Oh, gotcha.
And the credits were cut off a little bit.
Boy.
But apparently Karen had looked up Jamie Heinemann's, like, he's like a he does like teaching at a college or something, like a professor stuff now. I was like, that's exactly what you probably would be doing.
Yeah, I remember him because he was involved in Tested a little bit, not as an owner, but I think he was in some content at the beginning. And I remember there was this thing where he like partnered with the company and he's like, I think a spider robot would be like revolutionary. And he did like a video or two with this company where he's like provided the design and they built it and it was just never working right. And it genuinely felt like one of those moments where it's somebody who constantly plays on the edges of a hobby or critiques a hobby or like reverse engineers. They try and create from scratch and it's like, okay, maybe you're not a create from scratch person, you know, no offense, but
yeah. I also liked like their relationship was always cool. Like they were never like best. They were always like a working relationship. And I feel like that made the show better because they weren't like best friends, but they were obviously like having fun together and stuff like that. Yeah. Which was always fun.
It was a great professional relationship. Yeah.
I know, Tested, Jamie and Adam both, they bought Tested, or I don't know if they bought it, but they together, and then it just, I believe Adam probably bought out Jamie's side of it, because I remember that because their names used to be up there. What was I gonna say? No, but he was like, he built the whole RC system for the Chevrolet and the rocket car. Yeah, and like watching him do that, I'm like, oh, it'd be so fun to just have a shop to be able to put that all together and figure it out. Like learning all that would be cool.
That's the thing I'm struggling with is like I was looking at used trucks on Facebook the other day and I was like, oh, I should get one of these, but then I was like, I'd have to do work on it and I don't like doing driveway work. I like doing it in a garage and my 2-car garage is just way too small. I couldn't even fit the truck in there. So it's one of those things where it's like in a couple years when we eventually do move and buy a house, it's like I need a shop or I need room to build a shop. I want a shop back. I want a table saw. I want a fucking bandsaw, you know. Okay. Okay, so first minor complaint is I don't think it's a fitment issue. It's just basically this whole back bumper is a lot of 1x1 pieces. And you put it together separate and then you put it on here, but it was a lot of multiple stud connections here. So it was mashing a big thing of 1x1s onto individual studs, and the act of mashing it was like breaking it apart. Gotta have a better connection and better structure there. Now that it's on, it's okay, but literally like the act of pushing it in was breaking it apart because it was too many 1x1s.
Bastard.
See, it's not even in there all the way on the bottom yet. So yeah, just definitely some design improvements that could be made that I feel like would not survive Lego design review. It's still functioning. No. It's still better than any shit I would build, but there you go. There's the back end. So you can see the size of this thing. It's probably gonna end up being 5 inches long, 2.5, 2 3/4 inches wide. All right, folks. I think that maybe do it for today. Been here an hour 40. Been having some fun. I don't think we're gonna do another one of these streams soon. And the reason why I say that is I do prefer building these on my own, podcasting, etc.
Yeah.
But maybe if we get some cool kits, we could start them on stream. Maybe we just do a buy stream where we literally just sit here and we each have our budget and we go through and figure out what we want to buy. I don't know. Anyways, this is fun. We could do more model streams or whatever. Tuesday, though, I think I've decided Tuesday we're going to stream Mars First Logistics. Just came out in early access. I'm having a lot of fun with it. We should stream it. It's really cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find us on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Mixer, and Kick at Subpixel Team. You can find me on Twitter at ThinkGibson and on Blue Sky at ThinkGibson. You can find Will on Twitter at Hunt270. Yeah, I've been there about a month. I haven't actually done anything, but given the events of yesterday, I probably should start using it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for joining Baron, Zach, and Karen. We'll see y'all later. Where's my stop streaming button? Bye. Bye.